Hi, I'm Claire and this is my review of Seveneves by Neal Stephenson. I listened to this as an audiobook because it's a really chunky book and I really liked it, so I thought I'd let you guys know a bit about it. Seveneves opens with the moon breaking up into 7 pieces and no one knows why or what happened, but they know it's going to be a huge problem because more and more pieces of the moon are going to just collide into each other and break into smaller pieces, and you'll have this like cloud of moon debris around the Earth. And someone does the math and they realize that basically 2 years from the breakup of the moon there is going to be a fall of meteorites on Earth that will be unrelenting and last for 5,000 to 10,000 years. So basically the planet Earth is doomed, and because they don't have enough time to get everybody off of Earth, they don't have that technology, the human race is probably doomed as well. So they have 2 years and they start this big scientific project where they send as many people as they can that are really qualified and that are going to work out on the International Space Station to try and keep the human race alive in space. So that's the beginning of the book, but of course, because it's Neal Stephenson and it's a science fiction epic of these mammoth proportions, you also get to see the cataclysmic event itself. You get to see what is going on in space on the International Space Station after the event has happened, and then I don't think it's too much of a spoiler to say you get a jump in time 5,000 years and you get to see kind of what's gone on with the human race and kind of how things have developed in that time. So in essence you have 2 parts to this book. You have the first portion, which is from the breakup of the moon to when they're in space trying to survive and figure out how they're going to set up things for the rest of the human race. And then you've got a second part, which is 5,000 years later and which kind of shows to you how things have evolved. And I really don't want to go too much into what happens in that one because that could be much more spoilery. I thought the first portion of the book worked better as a narrative, but I thought the second portion was just a great thought experiment, and even though he had to introduce a whole bunch of new characters and do a bit more exposition, I didn't really get bored with it. I've seen some reviews that said that the second part was a bit too slow, but I just thought it was fascinating to think about how Stephenson has developed this idea of where the human race would go and what things would happen to them. This book is in multiple points of view and it shows loads and loads of different characters. Even before you go into the 5,000 years in the future, the portion that's setting up the ISS to survive in space is very cool because you've got all these different characters coming from different backgrounds coming together to try and do this thing collectively. You've got a scientist guy that's clearly kind of modeled after Neil deGrasse Tyson, and then you've got the people that were on the ISS in the first place, so that's a bunch of American astronauts, as well as someone who works for a company that's trying to mine asteroids in space. And then you get a lot of Russian cosmonaut that gets sent up to the ISS first thing to try and make it inhabitable for more people. After that you get a lot of really cool scientist characters that get sent up, and then you get young people from all over the world because, you know, someone's gonna have to rebuild the human race. And also they want to try and send people that are representative of all the varied populations of Earth because they can't really send everybody, and they still want to preserve the genetic material of Earth. Overall, I really like this book. As I said, I liked the first portion of the book a little bit better, but it's not to say that I wasn't completely riveted and wanting to know exactly what was going to happen in the second part as well. I've definitely read entire books where I wasn't as invested as in the second portion of this book. So this was the first Neal Stephenson book that I've read, and I'm really excited to go and read some of his earlier works now because, like I've said, I've seen reviews of this book that were saying that basically it's not the best thing he's done and there's problems problems with it and whatever. I see what they're saying and where they're coming from, but to me, I thought the book was still completely enjoyable. With the story that Stephenson was trying to tell, I really can't see how he could have told it any differently. So that was my take on Seveneves by Neal Stephenson. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below if you've read Seveneves or any other Neal Stephenson books, because I think I'm way behind everybody else in not having read him before, so let me know which of his classics you think I should start with. If you'd like to see more from me, you can check out the sidebar right here for more book reviews. And if you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button for more videos from me every week. I've been Claire, thanks so much for watching, and see you soon.